Hi, everybody. It's Amy Walker here. And today on the CEO Spot, we are talking about client retention strategies with Casey Eberhart. So if you're looking to get more clients, increase your pool, keep them for longer, then this is the place to be. Okay, Casey, welcome to the CEO Spot. We're so excited to have you here today.
Amy, it's an awesome honor, having spent a lot of time watching and listening to several of your podcast episodes. I'm super thrilled and honored to be a part of it. It's a great project.
Well, thank you. I have a passion for entrepreneurs and small business owners and helping them figure out how to do it better, because business is great when it's running great and you have good processes and systems in place. And when you feel like you're constantly struggling to make it work, it's not as much fun. And I just like to have fun. So before we jump into all of our tips and strategies, I want to go ahead and introduce you and give your official rockstar bio here. So Casey started his first business venture at the ripe old age of 5. And at 22, he was made general manager of a $22 million amusement park. So he majored in business management, human resources management at Washington State University. And then he worked his way to LA, where he started working as a production manager and a line producer on films by Jay Malkovich. And so he has really been an entrepreneur and taken that love of entertainment and his love of business and has created his own media platforms to help entrepreneurs and business owners. He's also got a great YouTube channel. I was watching some of your videos as well, and is a master at relationships, at networks, and at people, and how to get them into your pool and then keep them happy there longer. So Casey, you're the perfect person to be talking about building the network and client retention, and I'm excited. So let's start off with just a little bit about how you recognized in business that this was the most important place to be. How did that come about for you?
Yeah. So Amy, first off, thanks for that great introduction. There are so many experiences, so I'll keep just kind of bring into focus a couple of things. Number one, I learned very early on by my grandfather, who was a true entrepreneur, in the fact that he was an investor, a business strategist. He owned several streams of income. He always taught me that if you give enough value to somebody, everything else will be okay. So it's actually really fitting that we're talking about client retention today, because what we find in businesses that we work with is that most of the time when we start, they don't have a client retention program, process, system in place at all. So one of the things that I learned very early on was that system was just an acronym. System stands for save yourself some time, energy, and money. So if we put into practice systems that allow us to take better care of our customers, they come back and they ultimately spend more money. So like you alluded in the bio, I used to be the general manager of an amusement park. It was an amusement park and a water park combined up in Washington State. And that was a big responsibility for a 22-year-old kid. I'm responsible for a 60-acre park, 2,500 employees, 10 to 12,000 guests every single day. And we had to retain our clients because we were what's called a community park, meaning we weren't a destination park. So you and your family aren't going to get on a plane and come to our park. We were going to draw from the surrounding 30-mile radius, which meant that because word of mouth travels so fast and so far, especially among families, that we really had to get really good at client retention. And so for me, that was a really great exercise in adding as much value as we possibly could to the customer and retaining them as a client. So let me give you kind of just a couple of quick foundational pieces, I think, for a lot of business owners that are maybe just starting out, that don't have a big brand, that don't have a big influence. I would highly recommend, if you guys don't have a big following and a big influential marketplace, go back and watch the episode that Amy did with Jill on how to start a blog. It's a fantastic episode. It's a really great, I watched the whole thing this morning. I was riveted. She really talked about a lot of the things that I think we'll touch on in this interview as well. And that is, number one, if you don't have an influence, we really have to get back to the basics, which is, number one, we have to build a tribe. Number two, we have to engage that tribe in conversation, find out their wants, needs, desires, and then and only then do we earn the privilege of marketing to them, meaning putting our products and services in front of them when we know that it's a right fit. Nobody likes to be sold, but we all love to buy, right?
Right.
And then the second piece that I think is so critical to solopreneurs, business owners that are just getting started, entrepreneurs, all the way up to your Boeings and your Microsofts. There are three categories of customers. Number one is, and the easiest people to sell stuff to are your current customers. The people that are liking and trusting you right now, the people that give us their hard-earned money, the people that give us their credit card, the people that are buying stuff from us already. Easiest group to actually sell to is take really, really good care of them and put more products, goods, and services in front of them when they reveal problem areas. Number two is reactivation. People that used to be with us, they used to like us, they used to trust us, but because we didn't have a program or a process in place to retain them as a client, they might have left. Now they might have moved away, they might have done some other things, changed direction in their life, but most of the time we don't have a process or a system in place, or we don't recognize that reactivating clients is a huge component.
I want to say a huge amen to this, because I got to admit, okay, when we picked this show topic, I had a moment like this where I was like, we have systems in every area of our business except this.
It's so
and
huge.
You're absolutely right, because, we get our marketing systems in place, we get our sales systems in place, and we put so much effort to move people through, but they cost a lot of money. The first time you get a new person that comes in, there's a client acquisition cost that's high. To go back in, and we've always done a good job at reselling to people because we have good relationships with them, but we don't have a system for it. So I'm sure that people and money have slipped through the cracks in our 6 years in business. And that's why when I saw you and came across you, I was like, we got to have him. We have to have this conversation.
Well, it's Amy, you bring up a really good point. Most businesses are always trying to sell to the hardest group of people, which are brand new people. So people like you and I don't know about you, I hire people to help me put funnels together and systems and processes because I don't want to get paid to think. So I'll hire really smart people to put that stuff together for new people. But client acquisition, most business owners don't even think about that. So if we go in and we teach business owners that, number one, you better take really good care of your current customers. We need to retain them. We need to give them the wow factor. We need to, I'm a guy that sends presents to my clients. I send them ball game tickets. I don't even follow sports. If I see somebody just had a new baby, I'm going to take a picture of that baby off Facebook, frame it up, and send it to them. I might send them a cool book that I think. We have to put in place things, tangible things, that allow us to keep those customers in our thing, because we've already spent the money to get them as a customer. And most businesses are so focused on the hard part, which is brand new people. And the way to change this up is make a list of your top 10 revenue generating clients, program them in your phone, and make sure that you pick up the telephone and we call them every month just to say, hope things are well. How can I promote you? What's going on in your business? How can I serve you better? And then your top referral partners. I speak all over, Amy. And the one question I ask is, I do this whole exercise, but it really comes down to stand up if your business is 80% or more based on word of mouth referral. The whole audience stands up. And of course the phone rings right off camera. Perfect. Let's see if we can shut that off. The live video, kids.
Live TV. Yep.
And so then I'll say, sit down. If you can't tell me the top 10 referral sources, and again, 80% will sit down. There's a very few people. And then so there'll be a few people, so I'll say, great. Now what I want to know is, if I pick up your cell phone and call your top referral partner on the phone, Will they A, know who you are, tell me that you treat them like a rock star, and do they actually feel like a rock star? We just took people that didn't have big influential networks and took their businesses and said, look, your top 10 referral customers, people that refer business to you, and the top 10 revenue generating clients for your business, just those 20, called one of them a day over the course of each month, the business would almost overnight change.
Well, what I love about this is the way that you're treating people. And that's really what it comes down to. You know, I think about the history of my business, and I've had times where, guilty, I got too busy to focus on those relationships that were continuing to feed you. And when you get too busy for those relationships, that dries up. So you really, the heart of what you do in business is you create great relationships, and then you maintain those great relationships and make sure that everybody feels like a rock star because they're contributing to your business. And when you do that, it's dual purpose. One is it's just being a nice human, but the other is, from the other end of that, I have people that I have referred a lot of business to in the past, like maybe $100,000 in a year, right? And then we lost touch. And if they're out of sight, for me, they're out of mind as well. So they haven't gotten $100,000 in referrals this last year. And, I think that relationship is important in both ways, that the people who we're going to continue to send business to, we need to hear from them. And people that we want to continue to send business to us, we got to make sure that we're top of mind for them in a very positive way.
Yeah. So let's break that down so that somebody can walk away from learning something from this, because this is what you just said is absolute gold, right? And that comes down to really how we get sort of segmented or positioned in our network. So I truly believe at my core that my network of people, my network of relationships is the most valuable asset I've ever owned, I currently own, or I'm ever going to own. Because you could burn down this house, you could burn down my car, you could take my computer and throw it in a trash can, you take my cell phone and throw it in a beach, and it doesn't really matter to me because it's a couple of phone calls and I've got my network still, because offline to online and online to offline. So I'm going to take them off of Facebook, get on a camera, just do a quick Zoom like this privately, get to know them, and then I'm going to figure out how to pass them a referral, right? So I'm going to take the lead in that. And Amy, I'll keep this super short, but when I speak at audiences, one thing I always ask them, so if you're watching this, I'm going to ask you to quickly give me the name. And I'm going to pause after I ask the question for one name. Amy, you don't have to answer, but if you're watching, I want you to answer this question. Who is the most powerful woman in the world? The most powerful woman in the world. When I speak literally around the world, I ask that question to audiences, whether they're 20,000 people or 20, and I get the same answer all the time, and it's Oprah Winfrey, 100%. Once in a while, I get the Queen. Once in a while, I get Ellen DeGeneres. Once in a while, I'll get Michelle Obama. Once in a while, I'll get Merkel from Germany. But 100% of the time, somebody yells out Oprah within the first 8 seconds. Well, why? Because Oprah is just influence. She just sells influence. She has a very systematic, a formula to build her influence and to build her network that you and I and people that don't even have a network can already do. And that's this. Other people's content plus their reach equals more contacts. Very simple. So you guys, let's break down what Amy's doing here, right? Amy's doing a podcast. She has an amazing YouTube channel. What is she doing? At her core, she's doing the Oprah formula, right? Of course, it just never fails.
They really want to talk to you.
They really want to talk to me. So check this out. So what is Amy doing? Amy has other people's content. She went out, found me, found her other guests. Her guests are now finding her. Other people's content. She's getting to utilize my content, right? So she's got other people's content plus their reach. Right before we went on camera, I said, hey, don't forget to send me the show when it's done because I'm going to promote it. So she's going to be introduced to a group of people that she's never had experience with because they're my network. And people are going to watch the show either because they think I'm funny, they think I'm cool, they just don't like my hair, they think Amy's better looking than I am, whatever it is, she's going to be introduced and now she's got more contacts. So think about it. She's out producing content that lasts forever. Every time she does one of these shows, she ratchets it up the influence of her guests. So she's got other people's content plus their reach equals more contacts for her. Now, when you go subscribe to her YouTube channel, what you're going to find is that in and amongst all of her amazing broadcast interviews with people, she does her own content as well. So you might be watching this because you know me. Now you're introduced to Amy. Then you go to Amy's YouTube channel, subscribe, and get all of her videos and get all of her content. Know that she runs a consulting business. Your business might need consulting. You call her, she gets paid. Lather, rinse, repeat until bald or rich. It's very simple.
I love it. And thank you for the plug too. So, you know, it's so much harder and slower to try to build it all on your own. It really is. And from the very beginning, you know, we had a 6-figure business. Our first year we launched, we quadrupled our sales our second year. And from the very, very beginning, we did collaborations. And that's how we've always built our business, is exactly that formula you're talking about. Find people with really great content. They bring people to the party. You bring people to the party. Now you have twice the good content. You have twice the people invited to the party, and your reach grows and your influence grows, and you create relationships that last for years. You know, I had, this is an interview day where we do 10 interviews at once. That's a little secret for you guys if you're wondering, how do I produce this content?
I have another one in 6 minutes. So
10 at once, yeah. And, you know, I just interviewed somebody that I've interviewed 2 times over the past 4 years. This was our 3rd interview. And so that process of being able to collaborate to expand your network, and it is easier. You will get more doors open to you if you'll knock on the door with a, hey, you want to collaborate? Than if it's like, can I just take some of your time? You know, I'm getting your wisdom and insights for my business because you're on my show. So it's like a win-win-win-win. It's like a quadruple win. So
yeah, it's like,
okay.
You know, Amy, one of the things that I recommend for people when we teach networking or client retention or whatever is not only pick up the phone or all of that, but is when you go to a networking event or you're out and about, instead of it being focused on your business, whether you sell a widget or time or consulting or advice or authorship or whatever, go to a networking event purely with the anticipation that you are not going to sell anyone anything anytime, because truth be told, they're not there to buy anything. So we go to networking events trying to sell stuff to people that aren't there to buy anything, right? So when I go, or when you go to a networking event, just look for the opportunity to make a couple of introductions between people that are either there or people that you have back home in your back pocket in your Rolodex, and just start getting really good at making introductions. And pretty soon people start coming to you asking for introductions and asking referrals, which is a little hint that now you've got some influence. And number 2, you have the ability to start cherry picking the deals if those people start coming to you asking you about things that you already do in your own business. It gives you the ability to be in front of them first.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you can do that digitally as well. You know, I have 5 children, and when I launched my business, my youngest was 3 weeks old. No, we launched the business 6 weeks before he was born. So I had this newborn baby, an 18-month-old. So I didn't get out a lot, but I did this digitally. So I would meet people online. I would meet them through social media. I would then connect other people, and it's that connection. And you know, it's creating something that's better than what you can do alone, that then starts that process. You can do it digitally and you can do it in person. All right, we are almost out of time here. So I want to ask this question because I love hearing this from entrepreneurs. What one piece of advice would you give yourself as a new and emerging business owner, knowing what you know now?
Knowing what I know now, it's actually... it's kind of the same thing that we've been talking about all day. I've sort of made it sort of my life's mission to teach and train business owners to be able to do this. And that is to develop a process and a system to add value at every element you can, and realizing that the value of a relationship far exceeds whatever business you or I are in just today. Things change, your networks don't.
That's so true. Your network you take with you. So if the economy falls apart tomorrow and your business is no longer there, your network still is, and they will support you in whatever your next is. So I love that. That's so true. Businesses evolve and change, and we may not be doing the same thing in 2 years that we are now. But my subscribers on this YouTube channel are the people who've been on my email list for 6 years, and they're the ones who follow me on Instagram. And wherever I go, they will follow and they will support. So great stuff. Okay, what is the best way for our viewers to get in touch with you?
Awesome, Amy. Thank you. Thank you, by the way, for putting together this podcast and these videos. And for you guys that are watching, you just have to go subscribe. She's got some great stuff and really interesting, eclectic guests that are really value driven, which I just love. So huge plug to Amy and the show. If people want to connect with me, there's 2 places that are easy to do that. Number 1 is Facebook. I'm all over Facebook. Just happens to be my platform of choice. And you can look me up at Casey Eberhart on Facebook, and it'll be fine. My name's on the little screen there. Or number 2, if you are somebody that relies on referrals and you would like to get more referrals, you can go to expandthebusiness.com. It's just expandthebusiness.com, and put in your name and email address, and I'll send you a CD that I did called, shockingly enough, Get More Referrals Now. And it's really designed for you to either listen in your earbuds or listen in your car on the way to a networking event that is really going to give you the what to say, the how to say it, and the who to say it to generate more referrals. So you guys can go pick that up at expandthebusiness.com.
Awesome. All of you who are watching, you are really the superstars here, and we're so grateful to be able to have a chance to share our knowledge and our insights with you to help make this journey of growing your business a little easier and a little bit more fun. So make sure that you leave us a comment. Tell us what were your takeaways, what were your ahas. Like the video, share the video. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't done it yet, join the private Facebook community, the CEO Spot on Facebook. It's a private group where you can come and engage with other entrepreneurs and get some great tips and training. We drip a lot of content in there as well. So thank you, everybody. Make sure that you go out and be powerful today, and we appreciate you and all that you do in the world. Thank you, Casey, for being on.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Amy.